What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
And today on The Great Debaters, taking it back to King T, Act a Fool, classic material, The Great Debaters. Alright, Amir, so today on The Great Debaters, we're going into one of my favorite and least discussed artists in rap history, King T, which is a criminal shame, but that's why we're talking about him today. Act a Fool, our best three cuts. This is King T's first album. Came out in 1988, and you may notice a running theme of this is the best year of rap history, partially because of this album, so thank you for that, King T. But, Amir, this is his first album, 88. What were your first thoughts? I know you didn't hear it in 88, but when you did hear it later, do you remember how you got in touch with this album, or what you thought of it the first times you were hearing it?
I don't know how I got into the album.
Okay.
I don't. I think it just became like I knew who King T was and I wanted to listen to him. And I had heard a couple King T songs before buying this album, but they're not from this album. Okay. They were the one that I had heard the most was probably just based off my YouTube suggestions back in the day. It was Played Like a Piano because I was heavily in Ice Cube and NWA, etc. But with me, as you all know, I try not to listen to things until I own them. So Play Like a Piano, I actually didn't listen to. I just kept seeing it pop up with Breeze and Cube and King T. So I was just very patient, and then I was like, you know what? Let's just get his music and listen in order. So I had heard Act a Fool, and that was it. So I'll get into one of my picks. Title track, Act a Fool. It's just a great song, man, and I want to shout out DJ Pooh, who's just one of my favorite producers. He's had his hand in a lot of great albums and great things, whether it be movies, video games, music. He's had his hand in it all, and he does his thing on this album too. So shout out DJ Pooh. King T, he's great. He's influenced a lot of people that people don't know. But King T, on this song, I think he does very well. I really like the instrumental. The story is pretty much like, what he's doing that day. Right. So, he's chilling. He's going to go to a party that's probably going to last till 6 in the morning. Shout out to Ice-T. And one thing I like is how he's detailing the things that he's going to be doing, and he details the things that he does. And one thing I really like about that is it also puts a timestamp of what we're doing, because he'll mention the Knee Deep cassette. Then he'll mention that, the Knee Deep cassette is now, it stopped or it's not working anymore, so he slaps in the Dane a Dane. So we know that, okay, it has to be at least 87. And then he mentions like brands. He'll mention Nabisco, Dentine. He'll talk about Cisco, and these are brands that you don't really hear in rap as much, really. So Cisco, and always over the years you hear like the popular liquor brands and etc. So that's always interesting. Then we get to the last verse where, and shout out DJ Aladdin too, who he mentions throughout the song. He goes to the party in Watts. He's so drunk he can only crawl, and it's also bringing on the image of King T as well in this song. Showing up how involved alcohol is in his rhymes. Prefacing the licks, etc. Right. And we can get into that whole history too. But I think the song is very clever, and it's just a song really about what he was doing on that night. And I just think especially his lines where he's talking about the fake hair, fake eyes, fake jewelry, whatever, I thought was also dope. So this is definitely a standout cut on the album to me, and one of my top picks.
It's also one of my picks, Amir, for many of the reasons you named, and I'm going to further delve into a couple of them. With the name brands and the imagery, the thing that I thought made it so great is that it's one thing to say, the cracker, but to say, the Nabisco, then you have the picture of the box, you have the picture of what that specific cracker, all these different things, and that's what makes this song so vivid, because a lot of times people name drop brands because it was cool, or to try to get an endorsement, or because they had an endorsement, or just because it's popular. But King T was dropping his stuff in a way that seemed just so organic because he wanted to describe what was going on. And for that reason, this song, I think, resonated with me a lot because these were things that I could visualize very easily and I could imagine happening to a large degree, other than my favorite line on the song, couldn't walk a straight line if they let me crawl, because for people that know me, I've never had any drugs or alcohol. So that one, I had seen people be drunk and knew what that was. So that, even though I couldn't relate to that from my own personal experience, I could relate to it from seeing people be so intoxicated that that type of thing would be happening. And that type of rhyme, that type of imagery, I think makes the song so powerful. And it also shows King T's skill as a writer and as somebody that's able to, as they say, paint these pictures, but really illustrate what's going on in the world and his circle and stuff. And that, I love it. And like Amir was saying, the beat is awesome. And big shout out to DJ Pooh, one of the best producers in rap history. And you know, after his work with LL on Bigger and Deffer, to see him come back to LA per se and do, you know, work on the majority of this project was awesome, because I remember distinctly knowing of him vaguely around the time of Bigger and Deffer because of one of my other songs on here, but then knowing that he worked with LL and then being excited to see, you know, did a lot of this album was very exciting.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. And another thing that came from LL's Bigger and Deffer album was the photography by Glenn Friedman, which is also present on this.
Iconic cover.
Amazing cover. And King T also, aside from this album, he has some of the best covers in rap history, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Particularly with his first four. And I couldn't even tell you what my favorite is. Just the cars, the colors, everything about it is great. So big shout out to Glenn on those and King T. Going into another song here, I'd probably go Payback's a Mother. I'm a big fan of the James Brown sample on that one. It's great. I like how in the beginning King T is rapping, it goes a cappella a little bit, then the instrumental comes in a little bit, then you just get full force, boom, now all the beat drops. And that's one thing I like a lot. It's also clever production. And I think the things King T is saying, whether he's being dissed, people calling his brother an alcoholic, his sister a crack fiend, whatever it is, and then he's showing, you know, how he's gonna, you know, do whatever he's gonna do back, whether on the rhymes or something else. I think it's dope, and this is just a song that I especially really like the instrumental and the way King T is rapping over it too. And no, it's really dope. It's just a great song, and that's my second pick.
And I had heard this song before the album came out, so it's also one of my picks too. And I think the beat and the production from DJ Pooh is phenomenal, but I also love, in addition to that, the scratching, because the scratching on this song just really accents and enhances the music and the feel of it, and obviously fits in very well with the time period of what was going on, because in 88, 87, we still had a lot of scratching going on albums and songs, and that to me is one of the reasons I fell in love with rap, was scratching, and to hear it on this song just made it that much better. And then to Amir's point, I like the fact that he was taking these negative things that were going on with people around him and his family and stuff, but he was saying that that wasn't going to let him stop him. So it was an aspirational thing, and it was also, to me, a strength of, hey, you know, these things are going on around me, but I'm still going to overcome them. But it was framed in a different way, with Payback being kind of the thing. And like Amir was saying, the James Brown sample, excellent. And we heard that, of course, so many times over the years. But this is, in my opinion, one of the best ones used in this way. So that's also one of my picks. So Amir, what's your third and final pick?
My last pick is the one with the features being Just Clownin, where we get MC Breeze. Who MC Breeze is on a few songs in King T's catalog, as I mentioned, we played like a piano a few minutes back. But MC Breeze is on here. We also get Mixmaster Spade on here, and I like that we hear other voices on the album, which is cool as well. And then one thing about Mixmaster Spade in particular, something about his flow and especially his voice, it's very I really like it. I on other songs I've heard Mixmaster Spade on, I particularly enjoy his input, and it's kind of sing-songy a little bit, but it's also just a very unique voice. So big shout out to Mixmaster Spade and R.I.P. And King T also is doing great. The instrumental is great, and this is just another standout for me on Act a Fool.
Well, Amir, we have the same three,
Wow,
which is rare, and but Breeze in particular is a guy that I really, really liked, and I was excited to hear him on this song and excited to hear him throughout his career, and I want to hear, always wish I could have heard more from him.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll get to be able to interview him soon for Unique Access Entertainment. But he brought a lot to the song, and King T started off, then Breeze, and then we get Mixmaster Spade. Mixmaster Spade just having, like Amir was saying, the sing-songy flow, kind of the party type of feel, and the inflection and the way that he kind of rides the beats. It was just a great feeling of a song.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it's, it goes into Just Clownin. I have to really shout out the Bagging on Moms, because I really thought when I looked at the tracks as I was listening to the album, after Bagging on Moms, which I think is one of the best interludes in rap history per se, by the time we got to Just Clownin, I thought it was going to be a song like that, where they were clowning people or their moms or what have you, but obviously it's not that. But I just, because I don't try to read, or back then when I would listen to albums, I didn't read a lot. Same thing I do today, I just play it, and I might look at the song title before I listen, or right when the song comes on, so I know what it's called. But I started doing that when I was a little kid, and on that song I was like, oh man, they're going to do a song, well, Bagging off Moms, but it wasn't like that. So I think that also helps me like the song better, even though it doesn't really have anything to do with it per se. I think it just does affect my enjoyment of it. Sure. But I really did like this album, and it just shows, I think this album kind of hints at what King T is going to become, like Amir was saying, with the Alcoholic family, with the Alcoholics, with the Liquid crew, but then also with the cover with some of the gangsterism and stuff that we'll see sprinkled in throughout King T's career as it progressed. And man, this project here, a lot of people don't talk about it, which is glad that we are. So those are Amir's 3 picks, my 3 picks as well. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share to both Unique Access Entertainment and Rappin' and Snackin'. Hit us in the comments, and we'll let you know what we think of what you guys think here on The Great Debaters. I'm Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
Thanks, y'all.
Be sure to check out the history of gangster rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
What's that 5 on Young TV back with NWA?
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.